Are you feeling frustrated with where you're at in your life right now? Are you looking for a transformation? Are you looking to go to the next level? Well, on today's podcast, we are going to talk about transformation, going to the next level, and what it takes. Do you have what it takes to go to the next level in your life? That's what we'll be talking about today. So, hi everyone, and welcome to Impact You, the podcast where we share real transformative stories that will educate, inform, and inspire you. Thank you for joining us today. I'm feeling excited for today's show because we are talking about transformation. And this, my friends, is one of my most favorite things we talk about. It's what Impact You is all about. So, we're talking about transformation today and going to the next level. But before we get into the nitty gritty, we have a few upcoming events. We have Manifesting Made Basic AF that's going to be happening in Colorado Springs, October 20th. And tickets are now live for that workshop. We also have Polish Your Vision. If you're looking to go to the next level in 2023, then you want to be part of this event. This is happening December 17th, and it's going to be an amazing event. We're talking about transformation as well. We're always talking about transformation and going to the next level. So, what is your vision for 2023? That's what we'll be talking about in that workshop. We also have Thriving a Different Way with Dr. Topol Grandin. That will be happening February 11th, 2023. Early bird tickets have dropped, and we are actually about to sell out at the early bird tickets. So if you want to get your hands on the early bird tickets, you need to get on it now. I'll leave the link below for those tickets. And trust me, you'll definitely want to take advantage of it. Dr. Temple Grandin is an international speaker and author on both autism and animal behavior. And I've attended where actually we produced an event with her, and man, it was so impactful. If you haven't heard her speak, you definitely want to be a part of this event. One of the things that I admire about her is that she believes in stretching yourself, going beyond what you feel is comfortable. And I'm a big proponent for that. I think it's really important for us to teach our children and for us as well. Sometimes we teach our children things that take, we don't even take our own advice. And so I think that it's really important to stretch yourself, get outside your comfort zone. And that's going to lead us right into the topic for today, getting outside your comfort zone and going to the next level, transformation. And so that's where I want to start with today's show. I talk about my own transformation all the time, but a lot of times we get to a point in our lives where we're feeling uncomfortable, we're feeling like we need a breakthrough. And transformation, going to the next level, when you get to that ceiling in your life, you're like, there's got to be more. I need a breakthrough of some sort. That's where transformation happens. And so I want to talk about that. It is the curriculum in which we have built Impact You around is transformation. So is there a formula for transformation? I say yes. And that's what Impact You is actually about. So, what I'll do is actually talk about some how we view transformation, why it's important, and is it a mathematical equation? I often talk about this as transformation really is a mathematical equation. If you look at it, we have a certain method in which we teach through Impact You. It's what a lot of our workshops are about, is what I teach in Manifesting Made Basic, the method to transformation. And so, one of the things that I recently have done is I did a TikTok. I believe it was yesterday. Actually, I did a whole video on my own personal YouTube channel where I talk about my own transformation. And I took a snippet from that and did a TikTok on it, which seems to be doing quite well. And what I said in that TikTok was I believe that it is somewhat a bit of a mathematical equation. So in that TikTok, I said, I gave an example of two plus two will always equal four. And when I think about numbers all the time, because numbers are really symbols, right? And so if we look at it, okay, two plus two, we think of it as like this is something we learned in school or whatever. But if we look at it as two plus two will always equal four. And for that answer, that result to change, we have to shift something in the equation. Now, mind you, that numbers are symbols in which we look at, right? We've given the absence or presence of something kind of a symbol, which we call numbers. And so we shift the equation, the result will become different. And that's how we have to look at transformation. And in that example, I was talking about choices and how there's infinite decisions and choices we can make in our life, right? We are making choices and decisions every single day at all times. And that even includes what we're thinking about, okay? How we're operating in our lives, how we're moving and navigating in our life. These are all choices and decisions. And so, if we continue to make the same choice and decisions in our life, we're going to yield the same result. Kind of like what they talk about with the definition of insanity, thinking that doing the same thing is going to result in something different. We're making the same choices, decisions day in and day out. Instead of, okay, if I realize that two plus two will always equal four, so now I have to look at this equation. If I change two to four, if I decide to change two to four, or yeah, two to four, yes, two to four, then the result would be six because two plus four equals six. And so I get a different result. And so we have to look at the equation. We have to look at what kind of decisions and choices are we making in our life. Now, we often look at like the choices and decisions as, oh, I'm going to make a different choice in the way that I go to work today. But it goes so much more deeper than that, so much more deep than that. I think that's how you say it, that we have to understand, even it comes down to the choices and how we're being and thinking. So if we're being a certain way and we're expecting our reality, our life to change from our being the way that we've been this whole time, then that's not going to happen, right? We have to like start making different choices, start making different decisions in order for our life to transform and change. And it's a really simple thing when you really look at it that way, right? We can look at like, okay, two plus two will always, at all times, it is fixed, always equal four. And so if we continue to live our life the same way, day in and day out, start keep ruminating on the same memories, start having this, keep having the same thoughts, keep being the same way, we will continue to live the same life. There has to be some shift in the way we are being and deciding and making choices. So I also did a video not too long ago on cycles. And life is interesting because it'll come back around and you have the opportunity to make different decisions and choices. And so, one of the things that I transformed in my life is that I got out of the hustle culture, in which I intentionally wanted to do. I wanted to live a more softer, easier, more peaceful life. And so, for me, it required me to make some decisions and choices in my life, in which I did. I made those decisions and I decided to be a different way. I made the choice. Now, I talk about this on my channel. I'm also the author of You Choose Your Outfit. And so I always liken it to an outfit. So I put on a different outfit. And my life did shift and change. However, comma, we will say that life came back around and some things came into uh, my life, which perhaps they did not come into my life. Perhaps um, my thinking patterns resulted in a situation in which it came back around. And so this thing, I realized that I was in a different in a cycle in which I had found myself that I got out of, but I found myself in the same cycle. And I had to realize, oh, it's coming back around. I had to be aware enough where I was like, oh, this is the thing that is coming back around. And now that I was getting back into the pattern of what I had shifted out of, I was getting back into that pattern. I had to really decide, make a choice to do something different because it came back around and perhaps it's a thinking pattern. So I had to shift my thinking pattern for my life to shift. And so we have to be super aware of what's going on in our life to really transform our life. What are we thinking about? What are the memories we're ruminating on? How are we being? What are the behaviors and the activities that we engage in on a daily basis? And in order for our lives to transform, we have to change the equation, not the result, not what it yields. We change the equation. And what is the equation? It is our being, it's our activities, it's how what we're thinking about, it's our everything that will then shift our reality and what we experience and our life. So we have to think of these things. And so when we think of life this way, it's simple. It truly is simple. Catching yourself is another story. That is definitely difficult because it does require discipline and a level of awareness to be able to say, "Oh, I need to decide, make a choice to change this." Okay. So this is what transformation is. And oftentimes I think I'm not sure if I'm going to pull it up on the screen because this is a podcast. So the listeners won't be able to see this, but we also through Impact You, we look at it as a triangle. And so there is the I am, and then there's our vision in which we are trying to aspire to our future self, as they say, or yeah, our future self is a good way to put it. Our future self, our vision, and then on the bottom of the triangle is resistance or our limiting beliefs, which there's arrows in which we go to. We want to go to the vision, which is going to take us to the I am. But then there are our limiting beliefs, which is hindering us or stopping us from getting and actually stepping into our future selves. So we have to be aware enough to see the limiting beliefs. We have to make different choices, start being a different way to really truly transform our life. And this is really important for us to understand. It really is taking us, we have to take accountability for us. Oftentimes we try to change the result, right? We try to change, and this is okay. So we try to change the result. We try to transform our life by changing the 4 to 6 without changing 2 plus 2. So we want to have the 6, but we don't want to change the 2 plus 2. We want to keep it 2 plus 2, but we want it to equal 6, as I stated in the example earlier in this podcast. We have to change the 2 to 4 for it to equal 6. So what that looks like oftentimes is that we are often In order to try to transform our life, to shift our life, we're trying to change external things to transform our life. And I'm telling you right now, that will not work. That's not how you do it. Math shows us this. Okay. That's not how it works. We have to change the equation in which is us. We are the equation. And so changing either our thoughts, how we're being, our activities, our behaviors, our thoughts. And I personally am a big proponent that thoughts precede everything. I teach in Manifesting Made Basic, you know, how we shift our energetic state, which is the combination of our thoughts and our feelings. That's how we shift. That's how we transform our life is by transforming our energetic state. And it starts with our thoughts and what proceed or not what precedes. What comes after it's been a long day, you guys. What comes after our thoughts is our feelings. And those two in combination change our energetic state, which then shift our life. So the 2 plus 2 is our thoughts and our feelings equals the transformation. But oftentimes we try to change the answer and not the equation. So we have to change the thoughts and feelings, which are thoughts. There's an umbrella of thoughts, and our thoughts include our desires, it includes our memories, it includes our imagination, it includes everything that only exists in our head. Okay. Those are our thoughts. And when we can change our thoughts, what we're thinking about, what we're ruminating on, the memories, the visual, what we're imagining on a day-to-day basis, our feelings change. And those two in combination is what transforms our life. What are you thinking about all the time? And this is why people do affirmations, hypnosis. I am formally trained in hypnosis, and I know the power of how our thoughts create our reality and what our thoughts, how it has an impact on our life, right? It is all of these things. So we changed the equation, our thoughts and our feelings, the 2 plus 2, or we change one of them for or both of them to yield a different result. Yes. And so this is what we teach and Impact You is what are you thinking about? Who are you being, right? What are your desires? What everything that falls under thoughts. Who do you think you are? Your self-identity. Who do you think you are? Who do you believe you are? Our beliefs, our memories, what we imagine, all of these things fall under thoughts. So, what is in your mind? Change your mind, change your life, right? So, we have to work on the equation, not the answer. Okay? That is the key to transformation. Because if you look at mathematics, 2 plus 2 will always, at all times, equal 4. And for us to change the answer, which is 4, we have to change the equation. So we say 2 plus 4 equals 6, which is a different result. That's how we get different results in our life. And this is what our curriculum and method is for Impact You. We identify, who do you think you are? Who is the I am right now? Who do you aspire to be? Who is your future self? And what is the resistance? What is the limiting beliefs? What is stopping you from stepping into your future self? This is the key to transforming your life. So that is all for today. I really wanted to share that. This is what Impact You is about, transformation. And what does transformation look like? Is there an equation to transformation? And I say yes. I say yes. Okay. Um, I hope this made sense. Uh, I'm really excited for what we're doing with Impact You and how we're going to roll it out. I think it's important for everyone to achieve their future self, the vision that they have for themselves, whatever it is. And we are excited to be bringing this curriculum to the masses. So, anyways, you guys, that is all for this podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm going to leave more information about Impact You in our curriculum and what we're doing and our plans for the future and how we want to help other people in their own transformative journey. I have the hardest time saying transformative. And with this podcast being about transformation, it's not a good look for me to have trouble saying transformative. But anyways, hey, I got through it. I got through it. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing day and we will check you guys in the next episode. Peace.